Welcome to the League of Know-It-Alls Weekly Recap with your host, Team Commissioner.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Week 6. Week 5 is in the books. The fantasy football season is about halfway over. I'm really sad about that, and I'm even more sad that I'm 1-4. Yeah, I know. It's really sad. But I feel like I'm about to go on a surge. I'm about to go on a rant, and I'm about to go to the playoffs. You heard me. So we're going to get to the Week 5 recap, and to start things off, we're going to get to the news. So, hope everyone made it through the hurricane all right. I know I did. Lost power for a couple days. Sorry I couldn't do a daily video last week, even though it probably would have crapped the bed because Mr. Steve Smith Sr. decided to go get hurt, and then the rest of my team decided to shit the bed too. And I had to score about 160 or so, like 140, between 140 and 160 to fucking come in the money. And I'm already pissed off about that shit. And I'm already this close to being on tilt. But I'll go on a rant later about that. This week, we're talking about the season-long fantasy. So one thing I'd like to talk about in the news is Antonio Brown's shoes. I don't know if you've seen these or not, but he has worn Nike cleats that actually commemorate certain famous people in history. So here's week 1. So in case you haven't heard, Antonio Brown has been fined like crazy for his shoes that he's been wearing lately. And I'm not talking about like, 2-3 grand or whatever. It's like 9, 10, 20 grand. They basically forced him to take them off at halftime because they violate some stupid NFL color rule. I don't understand that. But what he had worn originally in his first week, I believe, was our week 1, he earned a $9,000 fine. And the only reason he actually got a fine because he wore baby blue shoes. And players have to wear shoes that matches the team's base colors. I don't know why. In this case, Pittsburgh is black and yellow. Week 3, he wore shoes commemorating his kids in baby blue. So they were all pictures of his kids all over his cleats. And he got fined again. They basically eventually told him either he can change his shoes at halftime or he can go home. And it was, he said, okay, he obliged, and he did what the officials asked of him, In week 3, he decided to wear shoes to commemorate one of the greatest golfers to ever live and one of the probably best people, one of the legends, Arnold Palmer. He revolutionized golf, dude, and he brought it to a forefront that forever he will be remembered at Augusta National, always teeing off with some of the greatest players in the world. And lastly, week 4, I believe he wore shoes commemorating one of the greatest boxers to ever live. He floated like a butterfly and he stung like a bee, and that name is Muhammad Ali. That's not his real name, Cassius Clay, one of the greatest boxers to live, represented with yellow cleats, so they couldn't tell him to take it off this time. So he's kind of learning, I guess, from his mistakes. But in any case, those are some of the shoes that he's worn. I could do a whole nother ODB watch thing, and he finally blew up this week. Congratulations. But, all right. And moving on from the news, going on to this week's recap, finally. We're going to go through, and let's see, the first matchup is always me versus whoever the hell I'm playing or losing to. King Commissioner scored 120 points, and Philadelphia Bison, Mr. 149.6. Good for you, man. You've been really, I'm telling you, that guy's sneaky good. He doesn't seem like he's on the forefront, but he's always right up there. reason King Commissioner lost this week is Lamar Miller shit the bed with 3 points. Edelman got 6 points. Sterling Shepard 2.4. I should have traded Shepard. Should have traded Edelman for ODB. And I know I'm probably going to kick myself in the ass all year. I don't know, though, man. Edelman got 10 targets. He's still involved, heavily involved, He just didn't perform. You know, it happens from week to week, but he's still the main guy there. So, pissed off Brady coming back. I hope Gronk doesn't take a shit ton away. I think that Bennett thing's an outlier. Hopefully, Edelman finds the end zone this week. My whole argument, I tried getting rid of kickers, and I'm still always going to try to get rid of kickers for this reason, and it goes against me this week. Adam Vinatieri, fucking 23 points on my team. Ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I know every kicker has those kind of games, and Philadelphia Bison's kicker got 1 point. One. But I still think it's ridiculous, man. Like, on any given week, if this game was a little bit closer, that could have been the reason I won or lost. You know what I mean? If it could have gone either way. I should have known after Thursday night when Larry Fitzgerald got 23 points that I was already screwed. Like, and it happens every week, man. Whoever has a Thursday night player, go ahead and play him against me. Oh, you got a Thursday night player on the bench? Go ahead and play him. He'll score like 30 points against me. I'm telling you. His tight end also got 27 points. I bet you can guess who that was. Mr. Bennett. Eazy-E got 33 points. You know, nothing I can do about that. The dude's been blown up this year as a rookie. Good for him. Good for that organization. I feel like they've got a future. Seriously, Cowboys, you know, at first it was kind of grim for a while. They got rid of DeMarco Murray. Tony Romo has been hurt the last 3 years. They needed somebody to step up at quarterback, and they needed someone to step up at running back. And Dez is, I mean, this year, I wouldn't be surprised they try to trade up and get a good wide receiver. And if they can, all day, dude. I think that team's going to be scary good. But, you know, until that happens, you know, that was our matchup. Next up, we have got the Oh Yeah lineup. Mr. Lucky Strike, Mr. Oh Yeah, with 150 points. Your Philadelphia Bison was 0.4 points away from beating, you know, or tying at least. That's pretty fucking close. So, some of his better players were David Johnson going for 35 points, Andrew Luck for 25, Theo Riddick, 23.2. I mean, that's his first glimmer of hope since the first week, man. The dude's been putting up just duds after the first week or two. You know, I don't see that being a complete, you know, every week thing. Murder boners. Unfortunately, Julio Jones sucked a dick for you like he did 2 weeks ago. He goes boom or he goes bust. I don't know what's going on with Julio. Is he hurt? Is he not? I don't know. I have no idea. Eli got you 10 points. And Marcus Mariota got you 30.5 points on the bench. Look, I'm done with Mariota. I hope he just fucking crawls in a hole somewhere and goes away, man, because I'm sick and tired of this. I fucking play him in daily 3 weeks ago, and he screws me like a motherfucker. And then all of a sudden, he's blowing up. He's the number one quarterback last week. I don't get it. I don't understand. And he only had 136 yards passing. Go check it. It's fucking stupid. How do you get 136 points? 136 yards passing, and you're the number one quarterback in the NFL this week. I don't get it. And also, let's talk about your bench. Let's move some players around, please. Let's do that. Eric Decker on IR, Corey Coleman out, Charles Sims on IR, and Julius Thomas questionable. We need to figure something out. You need to start dumping players, or I don't know. You gonna keep them for next year? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't keep any of those guys really. But anyway, coming up next, we might as well have called it the Donkey Bowl because it was the 2 worst players to play in our league. And oh my God. This could have been, I mean, they were literally donkey punching each other over this this matchup. I mean, Ballbuster got 89.6 points. Gino Punchline had 85 points. I mean, it was neck and neck for the bottom of the leaderboard this week. Ballbuster had 7.7 points. Zach Ertz 5.2 for Ballbusters. Gino Punchline had DeAndre Washington 7.7 and Fozzie Whitaker 5.9. Dude, if you need some running backs, hit me up with a trade, bro. The deciding factor was this right here. Ballbuster had Cardinals defense and went for 17 points. 17. And the Panthers defense for Gino Punchline went for 3. That's the deciding factor. Should have got a better defense. You know, I can't blame you for your pick, but dude, your running backs are atrocious. And I don't know if it's because of injury. I haven't really kept up with your team. No offense, but Jesus. And here's the thing, right? In the league in general, if everyone had an okay, decent team, I feel like we would all be neck and neck right now because last week, I believe it was, Hulk Hogan sucked dick against Lucky Strike, who had a really bad week. It was close. This week, Gino Punchline and Ballbuster. Ballbuster's at the top towards the top of the leaderboard, and you couldn't get it done, man. Like, God, we could all be like pretty close right now, but it is what it is. Next matchup, we got Gator Moskins at 135 and All Hail KBD 128. He's got Mr. KBD's got 2 losses in a row. Sucks to be you. Gator Moskin, Ben Roethlisberger got 32 points. Jordan Howard 26 points. Jordan Howard's like an every week start. I think I dropped him earlier this year, and unfortunately you picked him up, or fortunately for you. Cole Beasley 13.3 is still crazy relevant. I don't understand this. It's Dak Prescott throwing over the middle, shorter routes, higher completion rate, get his confidence up. Carlos Hyde, 20 points. Greg Olson, 25 points. And Mr. Hell KBD is 3-2 with 2 losses in a row. Might be 3, man. Might be slipping. Anyway, next matchup, we got Webby and Hulk Hogan. Webby's got 146 points versus Hulk Hogan at 104. Webby had Cooper that went off for 27 points, Derek Carr for 25 for obvious reasons, because if Cooper has 27 points, Carr probably does pretty well. He's got Tyrell Williams going for 23 points, and Hulk Hogan had T.Y. Hilton for 31. You can quote my words. I tried trading for T.Y. Hilton earlier this year. T.Y. is going to be a top 5 receiver this year because Moncrief is out. That dude is just going to go bananas every week. Cameron Artis-Payne, 20 points. Stafford is 18.8 points. Not that it helped any, but Webby's Bills defense had 16 points versus Hulk Hogan's Texans defense with 0 points. They both, Hulk Hogan is 0-4, going 0-5. I see a penis in your future on your head. I'm just saying. So to recap kind of the leaderboard, we got Philadelphia Bison, Lucky Strike, and Ballbuster all at 4-1. We got Murder Boners, Team Webby, and Gator Moskins. Murder Boners and Team Webby at 3-2. Gator Moskins at 2-3. King Commission, Gino Punchline at 1-4, and Hulk Hogan at 0-5, dude. Get it together. So that's the leaderboard right now. It's crazy. It's been a crazy fantasy year, man. We were contemplating sitting Dez over other players. We're if Cleveland's relevant again. Cole Beasley. We're on like 5th string running backs. I don't understand that shit either. It's been a crazy fantasy year, and it's only like halfway through, man. I feel like it's going to settle down. It needs to. And we're going to get back to normal football, thank God. Because if this keeps up, I don't even know what make heads or tails of fantasy football anymore. But anyway, that being said, I'm glad everybody made it safe through the hurricane, and keep an eye out for my daily fantasy football video later this week. And it's your King Commissioner signing off.